All right, let's talk Caleb Williams here and the Chicago Bears going up against the Raiders. Hey, a win is a win. The Bears improved to 2-2. I think multiple things can be true. I think Williams did some nice things in this game, and you're seeing a more consistent Bears offense in these past couple of weeks. I also think it can be fair to say that things still aren't going as well as you would like. And if they're going to really, go a long way this season and really improve this season, and have a nice season, they're going to have to play better. And so let's talk about some of the issues and also what went right at the end and how they were ultimately able to get the win. So first, let's start off with the play you see on your screen. Just going to be a quick screen pass, 3rd and 14. This is difficult to gain too much yards right here, but still, let's run a screen pass. We'll gain something, make it an easier field goal, and who knows? Maybe you can get the conversion. And for Ben Johnson, these types of plays last year would sometimes go for first downs with the Lions. Here, though, Max Crosby's all over this. Max Crosby was all over a few plays. He also had the dreaded tip pass interception play, which is kind of crazy because he wasn't even supposed to be where he ended up when he tipped that pass. So that's not a bad play by the Bears. That's just, Max Crosby making a play, and they were in the red zone. So that would have been at least, probably 3 points given a 3rd and goal. But also something like this. So this is going to be, we remember the kind of iconic trick play with the Detroit Lions last year, I believe it was last year, where Jared Goff pretended to stumble down and then threw the ball down the field and they were able to get a touchdown. Here, when Caleb Williams is going to try this as well, it gets kind of blown up. It's sort of really bad luck where it looks like there was a blitz up the middle, which is not how this play is designed to be able to work. So because of this, Williams does what he can, scrambles out, but ultimately has to just throw the football away. Good play by Williams to, turn a bad play into a less bad play, but nonetheless, it, was a play that did not work on a 3rd down and 1. Also, this one, kind of a little fun play there, but gets blown up by Max Crosby again. Maybe just Max Crosby is really good. It was able to blow up a lot of these trick plays. That was certainly a part of it. But ultimately, these are plays that I think the Bears were hoping they would have more success on in this game and just weren't really able to do so. This one as well. It's going to be a designed quarterback run, and Crosby's all over it and even got the ball loose as well. Unfortunately for him, it kind of bounced right back to Caleb Williams. Williams did a good job to fight to get it back, but ultimately, that could have been a disaster as well. So, again, the Raiders were just kind of aware of a lot of these plays. The Bears did run a fake flea flicker that worked in this game, but ultimately, a lot of these, the trickery stuff, the Raiders were kind of all over. So that was something I definitely noticed when watching the film. And also heading over here, there were some plays that I would just say were kind of unforced errors by the Bears, or maybe forced errors. In fact, this one's a forced error, but this game situation matters here. So it's you're right at the 30-yard line, 3rd and 16. The odds of gaining too much are not great, but you'd like to, you don't have a kicker with a huge leg. You'd like to get some more yards if possible. And just in general, it's always nice to help out your kicker if you can. And who knows, maybe you can get a first down. Williams takes a snap, and oh no, there is very quick pressure right here. It's not a disaster. You have time to react, but there's pressure coming from multiple different areas, and Williams just doesn't feel comfortable being able to even throw this football away right here because there's pressure from so many different areas. Instead of that, he gets sacked. They lose over 10 yards, and which is not ideal, and because of all that, they had to punt. They couldn't even kick the field goal there. So is that on Williams? A little bit. You would have liked to see him find a way to get the ball out. Is that on Ben Johnson? Probably also yes. You have a quarterback who holds on to the ball for a while, and the Raiders have good pass rushers. Like, probably not the right call there on a 3rd and 16. Probably the screen pass was the better call, but it's also good defensive play, and it's the Raiders leaving points on the board right there. They also had this one on a 3rd down and 5. The camera misses it, but the snap just went wild, and Caleb Williams had to race backwards just to save the football and give them a chance at a field goal attempt, which they were able to convert on. But still, that's a complete unforced error. That's just a mistake. That's just something the offense has to fix because, that can cost you games. Like, that could have cost them this game had things gone differently and they weren't able to have a chance at a touchdown. They had to settle for the 3 in a game that they won by 1 on a blocked field goal. So it could have very much been the difference in this game. And also, Williams did have a play where, scrambling out, trying to make something happen, nearly threw a pick right there. Honestly, that could have been a bad pick, too, had the defensive back just been a half step closer. So, some errors, right? Now, again, I am being very critical of this. the Bears won this football game. And while I think their defense deserves a lot of credit for how they played, with a lot of short fields and things like that, their offense still did make plays and made enough plays to win. So let's talk about those ones as well. So first, let's head over here. It's going to be a zone coverage concept. You have a receiver running a deeper route that's going to be more of a setup route. You also then have a tight end. It's Cole Kmet running a route that's going to try and get into a gap in coverage. This is the kind of stuff Ben Johnson loves. Caleb Williams is going to take the snap. He's going to look over the middle, and as of right here, I mean, this is not great defense by the Raiders, but also it feels like Ben Johnson over his career, few have been better at creating plays where there's just nobody even in the vicinity of the ball carrier or the ball catcher in this scenario. I mean, look, there's not even anyone close to Cole Kmet, and he already has the football. Kmet is able to, do what he can after the catch, pick up some extra yards, get a nice chunk play right there. So we definitely saw some of that. Again, we're seeing the flashes. It's not as consistent as it was in Detroit. They don't have the talent that they have in Detroit. Detroit won 15 games last year, right? But you're seeing some of those things. And also you're seeing this, which is something that has to be mentioned. Rome Odunze has been really great this season after not having a great rookie year. I do think that, and I don't even know if it's a coaching thing, to be honest. It might just be he took a second-year leap. I mean, maybe it's coaching as well. Obviously, coaching always is a factor. But, this play isn't like a schemed-up play. This is him, a one-on-one matchup on the outside on a 3rd and 5. This is a pure, number one receiver type matchup, right? Can you win here and help us move the chains in a situation where we're not going to be able to scheme anything up? Williams takes the snap. Rome Odunze is going to fight for the inside leverage, but then go to the outside, creates a window, and yes, he is able to win that matchup. So he's having a really nice year. He's on pace for over 1,200 yards on the season. So yeah, definitely give him a lot of credit. And again, I think it's him. I think he's playing better. And also on the final drive, I didn't think Williams did a lot horrible in the game, but he wasn't playing what you would maybe like to see in the first, 55 minutes of the game, I guess 54 minutes of the game. But he had a really nice final drive. And I think that's something to make you feel good if you're buying Caleb Williams stock as well. This play was one of them. Williams is going to take the snap. He's going to run a play action and ultimately looks around, doesn't love what he sees. So, okay, well, now what? Well, watch him get outside the pocket. This is why him and Ben Johnson could, in theory, be a perfect fit. Ben Johnson can make a lot of plays work as designed, and the few that don't, Williams can then try and make something happen. You see right here, a linebacker has read that Caleb Williams is moving in, and he's trying to get to Caleb Williams. But because of this, he's now no longer in coverage. So Williams is able to hit DJ Moore, and instead of a 2nd down and 10, if he just threw the ball away on that play, they're able to get the first down and get, only a little bit away from field goal range right here, although obviously you need a touchdown to take the lead. And 2 plays later, he had this one, which again, kind of in a similar vein right here. Watch as he takes the snap, doesn't love what he sees. There's a blitz as well by the Raiders, picked up nicely by the Bears offensive line. Let's give the offensive line credit, giving Williams time to make a decision here. Watch as he's going to then step up and uses his legs to get forward. He gets inside the 30. Odunze had another nice catch to help set up a DeAndre Swift touchdown that ultimately gave the Bears the lead, and a lead that they would hold on to, in part due to some special teams with the blocked field goal at the end, but ultimately a win, right? And a win to help you feel better. Ultimately, the Bears are used to losing these kind of games, so to be on the right side of this type of game is a good thing. And you also just can't help but to think, if they clean up all of these offensive mistakes and they can start hitting on these trick plays, things can be very different for Chicago. But for now, hey, you're still on a win streak here, 2-0 in the past 2 games, so got to feel good about that. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.